going on, guys? Phil here. Wanted to make another video today. Today I wanted to show you a deck from a class that I haven't played very much during the expansion so far. This is, I think, like the second week of the new cards being out, so the meta's starting to develop a little bit. Warrior has come out as the strongest class. Rogue is, pretty up there still. Mech Hunter is becoming a lot more common. Murloc Shaman's really common, and the Carpet Zoo that we did a video on previously is also very popular. So that's kind of what the meta is looking like. Token Druid's in there. Token Druid's pretty popular as well. And one deck that has kind of stood out for Mage, being a class that hasn't been experimented with as much, is Khadgar Mage. Now, the issue that I have with my list of Khadgar Mage is that you might be looking at a distinct lack of Khadgar, but that's okay. Khadgar's a shit wizard anyway, right, in the lore, so who needs him? Um, I have had fairly good success with Khadgar Mage, even not having Khadgar. Um, he does feel pretty good in the list. I've been able to play with him on a friend's account and like while we're duo playing, um, but he's not necessary. He's pretty good. He's very easy to slot in if you do have him, and obviously he makes your Conjurer's Calling turns a lot better, simply because you get double the big minions. Um, and like that effect is obviously worth the slot, because even in the worst of cases, he's just a 2-mana 2/2, which you can play in the early game, and that's great. Um, but I don't have him. And it turns out that while he's very good, he's actually not necessary for this style of list. In his place, I put two Doomsayers, and there originally was a second Messenger Raven, but I removed that in favor of a Doomsayer. There was also a second Sun Fury. I'm not positive. I think I put in Archivist Elysiana for that, simply because against Warrior, especially without, Khadgar, you need to have those extra big threats in the late game. So this is the list I've been running. I do think there are some tweaks that could be made. I think Astromancer is not particularly strong, especially without Khadgar. I would put in a second Power of Creation, but I'm fairly certain I don't have a second Power of Creation. Yeah. So one thing, like probably my favorite thing in this deck, and it's kind of weird, is I actually really like the inclusion of Sandbinder to guarantee that you tutor out a Mountain Giant so that you at least are able to go off fairly consistently, at least in the mid game, like turn 5, 6, 7, with your Conjurer's Calling stuff. That's pretty cool. I do think that Banana Buffoon is pretty bad, but it helps with the hand size mechanic to get your Mountain Giants out earlier. Overall, I think that there's definitely going to be more experimentation with this style of list to make it a lot better in the early game and a lot more consistent. There's a lot of just really kind of like out there cards. I don't think that Book of Specters will end up being the best, card draw engine. I know that Trump, when he was playing this list, he was playing like Flame Strikes, Caligos, Blizzards, stuff like that in place of Book of Specters, and I kind of like that direction because you get to play a lot more control-y. It just feels a lot better. You don't have to run these kind of weird cards like Banana Buffoon and Mind Control Tech and stuff to try and shore up your early game. Um, Also, this Unseen Saboteur is a card that I am not particularly good at knowing when to use yet. There's been a lot of games where I'm against Mage where I'm like, yeah, you know what, I can just pop this out, and the Power of Creation on 6 without having spent any mana, and you just kind of lose. So, that's a card that takes a lot of getting used to, because it's one that, in a lot of matchups, you actually just don't want to play, like, on 6. Which, like, that should be kind of obvious, but, I don't know. It there's a conflict there where I know I probably shouldn't play it, but sometimes the high roll's worth it, and sometimes you get rid of like a really important spell and it gets like no effect, but then other times you hit their Power of Creation and stuff like that and you just kind of die. So this is the list I've been using. I've had fairly good success with it, but I would definitely say that going forward this archetype will be changed significantly. And I look forward to experimenting with the more, Caligos dragon package, actually using spells instead of Book of Specters kind of line. But for now, this is the list that I've been practicing, so we're going to play this one. Um, as a quick, little side thing, I'm not sure how well or how much it will come through in the video, but I am a little bit sick, so any like big coughs and stuff I will mute and try to edit out. But if something, sounds a little weird or there's little jump cuts, that is why those exist. So Khadgar's Calling is great. Rogues don't typically put out a ton of minions unless they go big with like lackeys. So I don't think this is worth keeping. This is not worth keeping. Twilight Drake is okay, so I will keep Twilight Drake. Alright, so this hand got a lot better. Doomsayer, just to have, is really good. We picked up a Book of Specters, which is pretty great. Mind Control Tech if they go off. With a basically, I never get really greedy with my mind control techs. If they have 4 minions and I can get anything of value, then I go for it. So sometimes Rogue has explosive starts with like lots of pirates, double Dread Corsair, double South Sea, some lackey cards, stuff like that, and just being able to take away resources from them is pretty big. So Underbelly Fence, okay. So the easy play is just Book of Specters here and hope not to draw spells. Nice. We also drew into our Giant, so we're going to get our Giant on turn 3. That is a crazy high roll. And I think I have 18 games stat tracked. I've had, probably a good 10 or 15 on my iPad that don't get stat tracked. I think this is actually the first game this has happened. That's part of the reason you run Book of Specters. The big payoff for Book of Specters is getting this turn 3 Mountain Giant. And, it feels pretty good when it comes down. Not gonna lie. So, Underbelly Fence probably means that he, it's probably just a more typical, tempo rogue. Lots of them have been running the 4-mana 4/3 Burglar card, along with Vendetta and Underbelly Fence, because it turns out that all those cards are actually really good. Walk the Plank. That's one I haven't seen yet. That's pretty spicy. There also have been some experimentation with changing the weapon in Tempo Rogue to Spectral Cutlass and going somewhat into that path, as well as Perdition's Blade. But these Underbelly Fences coming out with no rush or extra stats, it feels really weird to me. I'm just going to go for the big guy. He just used one Walk the Plank, so chances are he probably does not have a second one. The only card that I can think of that's really scary for us is either second Walk the Plank or Sap. If he's able to just like really out-tempo us, we can lose because obviously we have no spells that bring back the board very well. But this is mostly fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the exact same thing. And now if he ever plays 2 minions, we have double Mind Control Tech, so that's cool. And we've survived this early game fairly well. Luckily his 2/3s, like his River Crocs, didn't really do that much for him. Like, they've gotten a lot of chip damage in, but hopefully we can just come back from that. Ooh. Okay, so I want to take trades first. So we'll trade here, trade here. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, so my plan was to trade, play this for 4, and then Conjurer's Calling it with coin. But this now costs 6. So that changes that plan a bit. With that happening, I think I'm going to try and coin and see if it's counterspell. It's not. Mere Entity could be scary if I give him a 5/5. But I think this is still the plan. Yeah, so I misplayed kinda hard there. Yeah, it was Mirror. Ooh. Okay, that's a little scary. That was a very obvious misplay that I shouldn't have done. I think if I would have given that turn a little bit more thought. That's one of the problems I've noticed, especially when I do videos, is I play very fast. Oh, he's not going face. Okay, whew. That is, that's very good for us. I'm very surprised he did not go face. Oh. Okay. This is weird. So he Shadow Stepped it, and then he's not gonna play it. He's gonna Edwin, probably? What? I mean, that's okay. I guess he Shadow Stepped it to activate the Vendetta. That was real odd, though. I did not expect that to be what happened there. So let's get some 8-drops. Ooh. If only I still had whatever it was called. The, Mega Wind Fairy guy that I ate. The Whirlwind Tempest. Okay, so I think I'm going to keep the Divine Shield here. I'm going to trade this, just so he doesn't have spell damage. I think I'm just going to do this again, and restore 8 as well. Oh, nice, I got a Hyreek. Let's go. Alright, so I'd say overall that was a very strong turn. Clear the board, get an Alec here, get a Gruul, heal 8. Ooh, Gonk. Yo, I haven't tried Gonk Druid since the expansion. That's like my channel's namesake. We have like 3 videos on Gonk Druid. You gotta try that out, I think. Oh no, dude, my Hyreek, I'm so scared. So he has a Hunter Trap? Where the fuck did he get a Hunter Trap from? Hatchland Burglar. Alright, I'm gonna attack with this and see what it is. Alright, so do I just win? I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. So I won. A very interesting lethal, to say the least. Oh no, my guy died. That's sad. Cool. Alright, so even though we misplayed, we won that game because Conjurer's Calling is really good. I am fairly certain that in my, like, release review, I did not rate Conjurer's Calling that good. But this card is crazy, dude. This card is actually, like, beyond broken. I have no idea what that guy was playing, though. That guy's deck was real weird. That's what happens, though. If you might have realized, this is being recorded right before the Darkest Hour video is, so, the Darkest Hour video's intro will kind of explain the rank that we're at. If you've been following the channel, you will have seen that we were rank 1, and we were rank 1 with maximum stars, but you know, sometimes things don't go your way. It happens. It happens, don't worry about it. You didn't see anything. You didn't hear it from me. Alright, so in the mirror I like to keep the Voodoo Doll, because if they go off with if they play a giant and try to stick it for conjures, then you can Voodoo Doll and clear it before they can Conjurer's Calling. The problem with playing the mirror is that they have Khadgar most of the time, and we don't have Khadgar, so that can be very difficult. Especially considering we don't run anything like Frost Nova Doom or Blizzard Doom. So it's very difficult to make that work. But we'll see how it goes. This matchup can be kind of coin flippy. Basically, like, whoever's able to go off with their Conjurer's Calling first is typically going to win, because neither player has spells that come back. They don't have anything they can deal with, you know, upwards of 3/8/8s. Ziliax, cool. Basically, the only cards in our deck that matter are Book of Specters, Mind Control Tech, Voodoo Doll, and Conjurers. I think I already said Conjurers. At least we have a drop for 3, and that 3 drop is actually going to help buff up our Giant. The bananas in this matchup can be pretty big too, because if they play a Giant, and you have a Giant on board, you can banana it up, trade, and get that value trade, and then potentially Conjurers afterward. But, so that's good. We have, if he's able to Giant, we have multiple ways to answer it with our, with either our Giant and a banana, or Voodoo Doll Ping. So, our early game should be pretty good, assuming he's playing Khadgar Mage. I have not faced a single Mage that was not Khadgar Mage during the expansion, though. Mage and Paladin have been 2 of the classes that I just haven't seen, like, anything from. There also hasn't been that much Priest for me, personally. Even though Wall Priest still exists, it's not as strong. Okay, so there's the Book of Specters. No discards, so that means he can Giant next turn, which is very scary, because that's a turn too early for our Voodoo Doll to be able to kill. So let's see if he gets it. Like, really hoping he doesn't have Giant here. He didn't snap play it, so that's given me a little bit of false hope. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so now we just need him to not have the Conjurers, and we're set. There's no real reason to ping it. Alright, so he needs to not have Conjurers calling. If he has Conjurers, we lose the game. If he doesn't, then we get to Voodoo Doll his Giant and have a chance. Whew, okay. Good, good, good. Daring Fire Eater is kind of weird. I haven't seen that. Alright. So we're going to kill his Giant off. Then next turn we're going to Giant. We could actually... It might be better for us to Giant and Conjurers on the same turn. Because next turn we can just play something like a Harrison or a Ziliax. Take it a little slower, but guarantee that our Giant gets to go off with Conjuring. Since we have double Conjuring in hand, we want to try to... like guarantee one goes off, because that gives the others higher chances of going off in future. Because the chance that he can clear 2 big minions is a lot lower than the chance he can clear or just one, you know? And we only have to delay it by 1 turn, so as long as his turn is like fairly low tempo, or something that dies to Ziliax, then I think that this is correct. Because it'll be 4 and 3, so that's 7, we're going to 6, yeah, so the math works out on the mana too. Okay, so this is fine. I'm going to, ooh, I can Messenger Raven if I want. I could go Messenger Raven 1 Twin Spell guy if I want. That maintains the same amount of cards in hand. Dart Frog. Meteorologist is pretty good. Take Meteorologist. So next turn is going to be 4-3. It's actually going to be 3-3. So I think this is fine to do. Just to fight for board a little bit. Yikes. Oh, wow. Okay, that Zentimo actually has to be dealt with, so that might save us 5 health. Because he's going to have to trade the Harrison there, most likely. So that was very mediocre, but I think it's a play that we kind of had to do. We're kind of on the, like, we need him to have some poor turns plan, otherwise we just lose. But it's very easy for us to, like, be very explosive and come back. Coin Astromancer, most likely. Yep. Okay. Whirlwind guy, does not matter. Oh, man. I really want to do that. But I have a chance at a 1-1, that's pretty bad. But I really want to do that. I can go 4-3. No, this has to be better, though. We'll get another time for Mind Control Tech, I'm almost positive. So we're going to go like this. We're going to Conjures that. And then I'm going to Banana this and trade here. Okay, I like this. This worked out alright. I'm not positive whether that Messenger Raven play was correct, but it worked out. It worked out fairly well. So I'm not too worried about it. And the Zentimo did end up tanking 5, so that's pretty good. If he at any point conjures calling, we can Mind Control Tech. So that's pretty good, like, in the mirror, specifically. I mean, it's good versus aggro, it's good versus basically anything, because no one's playing around Mind Control Tech right now. I think this is the only deck I've seen that runs it, okay? So, ooh, he's jamming face, really? So obviously his list could be different, but a majority of these lists don't actually run anything that, like, has high burst. So I'm not too worried about being set low, especially since I just got to heal for 3. And then I might potentially heal for another 3. Alright, so we have 2 more 8/8s. Fuck, I gotta cut that out now. Alright. So I think we're in a very good position now. At 11, the only thing that kills us is double Fireball, but he's running Book of Specters, so it's very unlikely that he runs double Fireball. Running Wild Pyro in this list when you're running Book of Specters, which means you're not running that many spells, seems very odd. The Pyro seems very out of place. Healing for another 3 feels pretty good. Second Voodoo Doll, okay. But we have another Conjurer's Calling. This is our last one, however. I think it's still most likely going to be correct to just trade Conjures and then call it a day. We're playing this very safe. We could have gone face there, but I like going with something like this. This makes our Meteorologist worse. We want to play around Mind Control tech. See, I almost forgot. We're running Mind Control tech, so his list probably runs Mind Control tech, and I still almost forgot to play around it. And that's you know, that's part of the reason you run it, is like not many people are thinking about it right now. Right. So we're in a very commanding position now. There is nothing in his deck that I can think of that's standard that will deal with my Giants anymore. He's used double Voodoo Doll, and he has no board. The only downside is, like, our hand kind of sucks, but we have 2 8/8s on board, so I can't feel too sad about it. See, we didn't even need Khadgar. Even in the mirror, we didn't need Khadgar. I think that Khadgar is worth a spot on the list if you haven't, but like, this archetype is just so strong right now by itself that you don't even need, you know, all the flashy things. Oh, he runs it for the bananas. That's pretty cool. I didn't consider that. This didn't work out too well for you, bud. So I'm gonna Meteorologist. And then I'm gonna play around Mind Control tech by killing this. Even though I could ping, I want to play around Mind Control tech. I could have bananaed, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't represent anything, really. It's better to have it in hand in case he somehow dealt with my board, so I get an extra mana on my Astromancer. So yeah, that Wild Pyro is kind of cool. I don't think it's particularly strong. Mostly because I think once you refine this list a bit, Banana Buffoon is probably not going to make it. So like playing around a card that's already kind of bad by itself is kind of weird. But that was definitely interesting. I could see how that'd be good against something like Token Druid. Then to make or draw last. Nice. Dang. Alright. So we will draw first. Our creation gets discarded. So we have to go like... Oh, we won. Because we have bananas. Boop. 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 Perfect. Alright, I think we're gonna... You know, we've been having some really good, successful games with this. I think I've gotten most of my points. I've noticed that my videos tend to run a little long. So, especially if we have, you know, games that showcase what we're doing very well, I'm going to try and keep them a little shorter. So I'm going to do one more. Both the games we've had so far have been very good showings of what the deck can do. And they've also been wins, so like, that's pretty cool. We'll see if we can get one more. See, we're against Mage again. So this is the problem. The mirror is much more difficult when you don't have the Khadgar. I'm gonna keep Mind Control tech, because in the case where he like goes hard and like goes off really early, then us having the Mind Control tech could like steal away a big threat. Book of Specters into Giant is pretty huge. Banana Buffoon is pretty big too, to help with getting the Giant out early. So the only cards we're looking for are Voodoo Doll and Conjurer's Calling. Him not having Book of Specters on 2 is great. This is all assuming he is this deck. This deck is the most prevalent Mage deck right now, but is probably not the only one going around, especially because we're at a lower rank now. If we were at rank 1, I would almost guarantee that he was this deck. but Acolyte of Pain is definitely not a card that I would expect to see, so I think that there's something else going on here. Even though we don't have Conjurer's Calling, I'm going to play this out. It might bait out a Polymorph. I just suspect a deck with Acolyte is running Polymorph. Proud Defender. Okay. Intriguing. So, unless we get Conjurers, we're probably just going with a Twilight Drake. Messenger Raven, I'm alright. And we're just going to make big threat after big threat and try to smork him down. He is most likely playing some sort of, like, Antonidas Freeze Mage sort of deal. I don't think there's any, like, OTK combos anymore, because Simulacrum and Molten Reflection have both rotated out. So, I'm, like, really confused at what he's playing. He might just be playing, like, straight Control Mage. Why? Really? Okay, so we're really hoping to top deck that Conjures. Unlucko. That's okay. So do I want 8 damage face, or do I want to take this trade for free? Oh, actually. Okay. Big brain plays here. We're gonna coin this, get both bananas, and do double banana. Because now it lives versus Blizzard, and I had coin, so he can't coin Flame Strike. So, I'm going to take this trade. This trade is worse against specifically Blizzard, but it's better in the case that he didn't have it, but he had it. So he's still going to have to waste mana to ping this unless I draw Conjurers. Oh my god, I can do it again. Let's just do it again. I'm not going to use both. Am I going to use both? Yeah, I'm going to use both. Because now he requires Flame Strike. Otherwise that gets hit for 12. This was really funny. Okay, I like Banana. He's rubbing off on me. I've played like 40 games with him, and he's never been as good as he's been in the past like 2 games. I think he top decked that. Feels pretty bad. We tried to play around it, but that's okay. Ooh, Astromancer off the top. I'll take a 6/6. Welcome, Geppetto. You're a good bud. Okay, we have the Voodoo Doll for that, so that's not scary at all. I was hoping a Power of Creation, but we're going to have to deal with that giant magic trick. Interesting. So yeah, that has to die. We can't afford for that not to die. And then I'll play this Messenger Raven too. Hey! We found the shitty wizard. Too bad it's not going to matter at all. That's one of the, that's one of the reasons why having, not having Khadgar is not as big a deal, because you can technically still get it from Messenger Raven, but we only run one Messenger Raven anyway, so it's very inconsistent. A secret. That's got to be Ice Barrier, right? I can't imagine you're running anything else. Did it come from Magic Trick? Yeah, okay, never mind. So it can be literally anything. Luna. This is a Mana Cyclone. Okay, so this is just a really bad list. We'll hit with this first in case of Vape. Yep, it was Barrier. That was expected. We hit for 6. So I can send him to 2. And I think this is worth killing. And I don't want to waste the Voodoo Doll on it. So I'm going to go like this. And then play this guy. And then I'm going to give it Taunt. I'm going to give these Taunt. Because that way, in the case of AoE, he can't trade into my Geppetto. And I'll ping here. I think we navigated this game, like, really well. We had very good draw, which, you know, definitely helps. But there's been a lot of 200 IQ plays. Second Blizzard feels pretty bad. Okay, so this is overall fine. I can go Khadgar into Power of Creation if I want. Is that worthwhile? I'm not sure. I think I want to wait for him to clear my board more, so I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to pretend that I have Conjurers. or that like I'm setting up for conjurers by playing the highest mana cost minion. It also happens to be to line up the best versus AoE. Like if I would have played Harrison there, he just dies to this Flame Strike. Okay, so this is looking like my Khadgar power creation turn. Khadgar, the shitty wizard. Okay, so um this is best versus AoE, but he's out of AoE. So I think this is best because it'll deal 2 to everything. Nah, this is better. Oh, I missed lethal. I missed it. Okay, so if I would have chosen missile launcher, it went off and dealt 4. But I don't own Khadgar, so even though I just played him, it didn't register in my head that I was gonna be getting 4 instead of 2, which is a dumb reason to miss lethal, especially when it would have been such a cool one. That would have been such a flashy way to end a video, dude. That's all right. So yeah, we could have exploded him with missiles. Dang. All right. That that's still a very good representation of the deck. I think that this is an archetype that's definitely worth pursuing if you're looking to play Mage. I don't know what that guy was just playing. It seemed pretty garbo though, not gonna lie. So if you're that guy, maybe you should be trying to play this Mage deck instead. Um, Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you liked videos like this one. We're trying to not fall into more slumps. That's what our channel's kind of been. Our channel's been like upload 4 or 5 videos and then slump for a month. But we're trying to break that habit a bit. So make sure, if you like the videos, to let me know and stuff like that. If you want, down below in the description box is the link to the Discord server. You can use that to join that. Basically you'll get video announcements, any chance to chat. I will occasionally do coaching sessions and like duo streams, and basically just anything you can think about that relates to Hearthstone or card games. You can hit me up on there, and yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in next time.